Next question. Baseball has been very, very good to me.
Because you're a Cubs fan.
No,
It's
do,
been
do you get? Don't you remember
yes,
that from Saturday Night
yes, of
Live?
course I do. I know
Of
what you're
course, yeah.
referring, but I
That
thought you
was
were gonna Garrett
Garrett
Morris.
Morris. Yeah,
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 as what was
that
that
was
character's name?
fantastic. So here's my
Uh,
question
uh,
for your Los Angeles Dodgers. Are they going to
mm-hmm.
go out and make some huge trade that's going to piss off the world of baseball in the next few days
Of
to
course,
try to steal the World Series
it's their
from my
favorite
Chicago
pastime.
Cubs?
Yeah, right. It's their favorite pastime. They're absolutely going to make some deals. We have a large farm system that's one of the top five, arguably, according to some who know. We got plenty of trading chips that we can use in terms of up and coming players like Dalton Rushing and a whole bunch of others.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have all these injuries. Some of them are going to come back, like Blake Snell, and some of them have come back. Roki Sasaki's going to come back soon. So I don't know if we're going to get a starting pitcher. If there's one available for the right price, I think we'll go for it because you can't have too many arms in this organization. But I think the immediate needs are like an outfielder to replace James Outman because he's just not been great. Or is it Michael Conforto? It was one of those two. They've been okay. Um,
Don't upset the families now. They're watching.
and then we need, but mostly we need relief pitching. We need to get a couple arms. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if we pull the trigger and bring in some stud outfielder and a couple of pitchers and make everybody pissed off yet again. Think of it this way: we're on the rental thing for Shohei Ohtani. Arguably, might wind up becoming known as the greatest baseball player in history. If he wins a couple of more MVPs, if he continues to pitch well while he's hitting home runs, he's hit a home run in all five of the last 5 games, and he even pitched in one of them. He was the starting pitcher in one of them. It's not since early Babe Ruth have we seen anything like this. And if he can hold it consistently year after year, we've got him another 8 years. So they have to surround him with as much chance of winning as possible. If they want to look back and say this was a dynasty, we built a dynasty, we have to win now. So they're going to be making big trades, I think, at any trade deadline if it makes them better. I think you're going to keep seeing this for at least the next 5 years.
Do you think Shohei Ohtani is going to be part of the tariff deal that Japan signs officially in a couple
Mm,
of days?
I don't know. He's ours now. So
Okay. I don't know.
like a building completed 5 years ago, we've already got him baked into the system, and you can't count him.
Okay. And the final predictive question for you has to do with Cambodia and Thailand. I
I was going to
believe
bring
you've
this
been
up.
to these places.
I was going to bring
Okay.
this up. Yeah, yeah.
They are having a conflict over a border area that they've been fighting and arguing about for a long, long time,
Mm-hmm.
predating, I believe, the French, the Americans, the British, the Japanese, Chinese, and all other foreign interference in the area. The people of these two areas have been arguing about borders. And it's been getting hot the past few days. People are dying, civilians are dying. Do you think that this has a chance of breaking out into a hot war?
Yes, and here's why. Um, I'm actually a little worried about this. So I've done business with Cambodia. I've done business with Thailand, but I actually haven't been to Thailand, which is right next door.
Mm-hmm.
I've been to Cambodia a couple times, along with Vietnam and others, and I've worked with uh, people in business there and people in government there. And so I've taken tours of various things that not everybody gets to tour. Um, One of those things is something that nobody's talking about that is a huge trading piece in all this, and I think it's worth keeping an eye on. I'll get to that in a second, but the skirmish broke out. You're right; it's an old skirmish that they've been boiling over for over 100 years. 120 years ago, France left the area. It was this French colony basically, and they carved up arbitrarily this border between Cambodia and Thailand that still exists today. And they've
So it was a
never, yeah,
French problem.
right,
I
yeah,
didn't know that.
yeah. So they carved this arbitrary border. Well, ever since then, both sides have been pissed off because they say that's our temple, not yours, and vice versa. There's all these
Mm,
ruins along in there, and so
okay.
they've had skirmishes build up from time to time. And there's still a lot of landmine issues that they've had. Now, here's what happened recently in the last week or two. Some landmines blew up and some people died along the border, and Cambodia claims that those were not there. No, it was one, I can't remember which side claimed first, but the other side's counterclaiming, saying, no, these are your mortars. You guys buried these landmines. So then everybody's pointing fingers, and it's escalated to where, the military's gotten involved. There's been some shooting going on. More people have died. Thailand has a much larger army and armed forces than Cambodia does. Cambodia doesn't have any jet aircraft, for example, that are jet fighters anyway. They have a lot of tanks.
Thailand is also a big receiver of U.S.
Correct.
military
So
hardware.
they have 77 jet fighters, and a lot of them are F-16s. So they have the upper hand on this. They have more soldiers than Cambodia as well. So Thailand would win a shooting war, and everybody knows it. Here's where it gets interesting, though. Thailand is a ally of the U.S. Okay, and they get their military hardware from all over the place, including Russia, but mostly it's like they're U.S. Dependent. Cambodia is I was brought there, this is 7 years ago now, because they want to be more of an ally with the U.S., but they've sort of become more of an ally with China. They always had this sort of cozy relationship with China anyway.
I'm asking this question. This is why the question is important.
When I was there, the U.S. was helping to co-run their largest deep water port. And there's this big highway that goes directly from the capital of Phnom Penh straight into that port. And the two localities or the three localities that are all around there on this little sort of peninsula, which I've toured around, I've seen a couple times. So the thing about that is, in recent years, China has taken over that. They've signed new deals with Cambodia, and they've put a lot of money into Cambodia, building it up as part of their key Belt and Road Initiative countries. Why? Because China really wants, and this is speculation, China's not going to admit this, but China really wants a deep water port on that side of the peninsula, because it's away from the 9-dash line. It's away from the South China Sea, which is largely barricaded so far by American allies: Philippines, Japan, Taiwan, which I know is a different thing, and Vietnam. So China is sort of blocked in, and that is the largest shipping lane in the entire world. So instead, they're looking at hedging their bets. And Cambodia became an obvious place to go on the other side, where they could build up a lot of freight warehousing and so on, so they could just ship stuff directly out of there. But more importantly, they could put in spy vessels, Navy vessels that belong to China, that are leased to be able to port themselves there at Cambodia. So it's in China's best interest to protect Cambodia. So even though Thailand has a larger military, Cambodia has a much larger friend that's willing to step into the fray, especially if any of their interests are harmed. And right next door to that deep water port, that Navy port that China now co-controls, is one of the largest, it might be the largest development I have ever seen in real time, coming up out of nowhere. And it's all these high rises, and there's going to be a bunch of casinos. It's mostly done now, but it was all Chinese firms building it. I toured around. It's all Chinese lettering. There was hardly any Cambodians that were even involved in building this thing. And the speculation, I never heard this from the government guys, by the way. This is just speculation from people on the street, friends, is that China in the future might encourage. There's a lot of Chinese that enjoy gambling, and so by having this sort of haven thing that's sort of in their backyard, it would allow them to scale away from Macau and turn that more into just gradually into what Hong Kong is, as this, the sort of the next Singapore, I guess. That's what the speculation is. You're not hearing that anywhere right now, but here's the thing: the point is, China's sunk a lot of money into all this stuff, and to have it threatened by Thailand, they're not gonna allow that to happen. So I think what's going to happen is the Chinese are going to get very active in trying to negotiate a truce immediately. They're probably already doing it. And if that doesn't work, they're going to back them up and at least make threats and say, no, you're not crossing that line. And then the question will become, well, what will the U.S. do? Because this is our ally. They're not a NATO ally, obviously, but still we do a lot of trade with them. It'll be interesting to see what happens next. Well, you're most welcome.
That was very vociferous. of it.
Yes, and those are my opinions, not anyone else's. I'm just telling you what's there. I've been there, I've seen it, I've taken pictures. I have the pictures. There's a lot of money that's been sunk into that part. And that's to build it up too. Everybody's happy with it. The Cambodians love the Chinese. So there's nothing wrong with that, obviously.
Okay. All right, Mr. Summer. Well, that wraps up another illustrious episode. Thank you, Mr. Summer. It's been captivating, illuminating, and worth my time. I hope it's been worth other people's time as well. I hope it's been worth your time.
Always and forever. Bye, everybody. We'll see you soon.
Thank you very much for joining us. Like and subscribe, everybody. Bye-bye.
Like and subscribe. The Just Reward Show is a co-production of Angry Metatraders and Leitmotif Press. It is produced by Scott Summer and Robert Petrucci and engineered by Scott Summer and Sagi Nizri. Music is by All Good Folks, a group of composers based in London that you should definitely check out. You'll find us wherever you get your podcasts, as we're everywhere. Like the gods we are.